Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am being joined by Captain Michael Strickland from the EMS and the Director of EMS here for Troup County, EMA for Troup County.
Yes, sir.
Michael, thank you for being my guest today.
My pleasure.
Well, Michael, you and I were talking before we came on the air, and I know that you said you recently moved to LaGrange about 4 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. And it's easily, a lot of people easily confuse EMS with EMA,
right.
and I'll get into what EMA is versus EMS here in just a second.
Thank you.
A little bit about myself. I'm originally from East Point, Georgia. Mm-hmm. I was born at the old, it's still there, but it's a new name, the old South Fulton Hospital or Medical Center. My dad worked for Delta, so we grew up in East Point. We lived there till I was about my 5th grade year of elementary school, and we moved to Fayette County to the Tyrone area. Uh-huh. Where I spent the rest of my middle school, high school days, graduated from McIntosh in Peachtree City, and went off to college for a year or two and really didn't know what my future plans were. And I had started as a volunteer firefighter with Fayette County while I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
And I think that kind of, really got my interest peaked in the fire service. I had a great grandfather that was a assistant chief of the city of Atlanta.
Okay.
And actually, went to work with Fayette County Fire and Emergency Services in January of 1988.
Oh my.
And
okay.
I worked there. I achieved my firefighter certification, my basic EMT certification, and spent my career there. And I retired this past January as a captain after 33 years there.
Oh my.
So, very rewarding career as a firefighter. I'm also a paramedic.
Okay.
Have 2 college degrees in fire science and, multiple certifications and a lot of disciplines in the fire and EMS industry. I mean, it's not just fire department. It's the fire part, it's the rescue part, it's the hazardous materials part, and it's the EMS part. So, I'm very well versed and very well trained in a lot of aspects of the fire department. So, like you said, we moved to LaGrange about 4 years ago. My wife has very strong family roots and family ties here, and she wanted to be closer to her family and to her parents, and we decided to move to LaGrange. And as I said a minute ago, we're starting to now have our kids move back here.
Okay.
We have 4 fantastic kids. We have our first grandchild, who's almost 11 months old. So I'm doing my best to spoil him right now.
Sure, that's right. That's what grandparents do.
They're living close, and if I want to go see him, I'll just go see him that day or whatever. So that's nice to have. But we love LaGrange and the feel of LaGrange and the vibrancy of LaGrange. It's a wonderful community, and very community spirit oriented, and
very good.
So I retired from Fayette County in January, and I was trying to figure out what my next step was going to be. I explored business opportunities. I looked at some different things, and really I wanted to stay in the fire department. I mean, that's my background. That's my ground. So the position of EMA director was posted, I believe, last October.
Okay.
So I applied for it, went through the processes, the interviews, and was ultimately selected. And I started on January 21st of this year as the EMA director for Troup County.
Well, very good. Well, and you said so many things there. I was thinking back when you say you started your career in fire in 1988. I started my career in law enforcement in 1988. So, I think it takes a unique person to be that servant person to serve the community in those capacities, and fire is one of those things that has really evolved over the years, because like you said, you talked about the various aspects, the fire, the hazard, and all the other various EMA, emergency, medical, all of those things, and it makes it for a holistic individual that can do all those things and serve our community. Mike, if you don't mind, tell us the difference between, because I said it again, EMA versus EMS, if you don't mind.
No, absolutely. It's a very common thing with my job. People, they find out I'm the EMA director, and they ask me, well, what is that? Do you run the 911 center?
Right.
Well, no. Do you run the ambulance service? Well, no. But okay, so just in a nutshell, EMS is the emergency medical services part. That's the ambulance services part of it. That's the You know, if you're at home, you're out and about, and you have a car accident or you have a medical emergency and you call 911, the fire truck or the rescue truck or the ambulance that comes out there, that's the emergency medical services component of it. They'll treat you, take you to the hospital if needed. So it's kind of the medical and trauma aspect of it.
Okay.
EMA is emergency management agency part of it, and that's more of a planning for potential disasters and events mode.
Okay.
It's, you know, it's a lot of plan based. It's a lot of preparations to, you know, help the community be strong in the face of disaster.
Okay.
And when I say disaster, I mean it could be a weather related event. You know, it could be a severe thunderstorm that comes through and causes wind damage, trees down, hail damage.
Okay.
It could be if it rains a lot and it floods. You know, how are we responding to that, and what are we doing to prevent that from happening again?
Okay.
You know, if it rains and floods, are we having homes that are being flooded, and we need to go in and remove those people from the flooded areas? So it's a lot of preparing for emergencies and making sure the county and the communities are ready for those events.
Okay. And Mike, we were talking too, I know that some of our citizens may be familiar with Code Red.
Yes.
And I know that you all now are moving away from the Code Red call signals to Civic Readiness.
That's
Talk
right.
about that and that transition.
Sure, absolutely. Civic Ready is the county's mass notification system that they transitioned to, I believe, about 2 years ago. It may have been a little bit longer than that, but the county used to use Code Red.
Okay.
Well, they made the decision a couple of years ago to move to this new platform called Civic Ready. And really what it is the county's mass notification system. So, you know, people, it's an easy sign up process. You know, if they'll just go to Troup County's website, troopcountyga.gov.
Okay.
There's an icon on that main page where they can start the sign up process.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of entering their email in, their phone number, their physical address, and then they go through some steps which they can pick and choose how they want to be notified and what they want to be notified on.
Okay.
Do they want to receive their notifications via their cell phone number, or via a text, or via email, or even a call to their home landline? They can choose that method.
Okay. All right.
Then they can choose what type of events they want to be notified on. You know, there's a whole list of things they could be notified on. It's weather-related events.
Okay.
It's traffic events. It's missing or lost persons they could be notified on.
Okay.
So it's very broad-based, and it's very adaptable to the person, you know, if they want to be notified on everything or if they just kind of want to pick and choose what they want to be notified on. But it's a very easy sign-up process. We are encouraging all the citizens of Troup County, including the cities, to sign up for it.
Okay.
It doesn't cost anything, obviously.
I was going to ask about that. Okay.
And they receive early notifications on a multitude of events.
All right. Kind of sort of like the Amber Alert sounds like.
It's very similar to that, yes.
All right. Very good. And, you know, because, you know, and I live in Noonan, and you were telling me you have family that still live there as well. And, of course, you all know that we just had this tornado that came through there.
Yes,
and,
sir.
And it crawls right there by the cancer center, which is probably about 2 blocks from my home. So with this civic readiness, if there was even though we have the sirens here
That's
that
right.
alert, you would also get this on your phone, cell phone, or telephone as well.
Exactly right.
Okay, all right, very good. And then just go to Troup County website to sign
Troup
up.
County's website.
All right. Now, other than signing up, how can the community get involved, Michael, and help the community? Because I know that you said it's a lot of preparedness. So when you have an event, you kind of take that, assess it, and then prepare for the, for the next one. Unfortunately, hopefully we don't have any. But how can citizens get involved?
And I think that's a great question. Obviously, we encourage people to sign up for the Civic Ready, but really, I just encourage everybody I talk to, whether I go talk to a church group or a civic club or the Active Life Center, just be as weather aware as you can be.
Okay.
I mean, there's so many avenues nowadays. People can receive their alerts. They can watch the local news. They can turn on the Weather Channel. There's multitude of apps they can put on their phone to monitor the weather, to get alerts. But, you know, just like we encourage people to be fire safety conscious, you know, we really want people to be weather aware conscious, especially during these months right now where severe weather is very prevalent. During March, April, and May of each year are typically the months of the year where weather is very active.
Okay.
You know, I'm constantly monitoring the storms. I'm constantly getting feeds and emails and alerts from the National Weather Service so that I can track those storms and make sure that all the county departments and all the county partners are aware of it's coming, and they can kind of, you know, make their own plans and notify internally their own staff to be prepared for it.
Okay.
You know, one of the things that we do as a department is we hold emergency preparedness meetings on a monthly basis with various community partners that EMA has.
Okay.
So what we try to do is meet once a month just to talk about any issues that all the other departments need to know about. We may do a tabletop exercise where we talk about, you know, what would we do if a severe thunderstorm were coming through, or they were projecting a tornado to hit? How would we handle it as Troup County?
Okay.
You know, and you know, you talked about the tornadoes that went through last month up in Heard County, Coweta County, and Fayette County. Unfortunately, Coweta and Noonan got the brunt of it. You know, that's going to be a lessons learned event for years to come. I mean, you know, I'm sure Coweta County EMA officials will go back and look at what they did before, and, you know, they may say this worked, we're going to change this, and we're going to improve this. And I think really that's what every county needs to do. They need to, you know, look internally at their own plans to see, is this going to work, or do we need to change this?
That's right. Okay.
So, but as far as what citizens can do, I encourage everybody to sign up for the Civic Ready and to just be weather aware.
Okay.
You know, understand that there's weather that could potentially impact them, have plans in place, monitor the weather, but really just sign up for Civic Ready would be a huge step for a lot of people.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you, because you mentioned about partners, Michael. Talk about some of the partnerships that you all have between EMA.
Sure, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I've really been working hard at in my first 3 months on the job, is just going out and meeting a lot of people and establishing those relationships.
Okay.
It's like I told the Board of Commissioners when I met them for the first time, you know, I want to establish those relationships early in my career. You know, the first time I meet somebody like the fire chief in LaGrange, it shouldn't be at 2 o'clock in the morning when a tornado comes through. That's not the first time we need to meet. So I've really been aggressive in getting out and meeting people. You know, I have relationships with obviously all the Troup County departments, from the Sheriff's Department to Public Works to the Property Assessment to the Tax Assessor's Office. I'm trying to establish those relationships now because everybody has potentially a job in our Emergency Operations Center that they could put forth in an emergency. But I'm also forging the relationships with a lot of the city departments. You know, I've gone down to West Point and sat down and met with the mayor and the police chief and the fire chief down there. I did the same thing up in Hogansville, and I've done the same thing with LaGrange. And I think it's important that they know who I am. They know how to contact me if they need anything. And but really, it's just a matter of establishing those relationships beforehand to you know, make things go smoother in the event of an emergency. You know, also reach out to the private industries. You know, I have a very good relationship with Diverse Power, Duracell, a lot of the industries in the county, trying to help them and work with them on their emergency plans and their continuity plans. Okay,
very good. And you know, you were mentioning about the meetings that you all have, Michael. Are those meetings open to the public, or can anyone?
I mean, typically it's just the people that you know, the departments that come. But if any citizen wants to come and sit on and observe, I would welcome that.
Okay, all right, very good. Just trying to get them involved.
Yes, sir.
Tell us where you're located, if you don't mind, as we get ready to close out.
Absolutely. My office is actually in the Troup County Fire Department Administration Building at 2495 Hamilton Road,
Okay.
out across from the Sheriff's Department.
All right. Well, very good. Well, Michael, I know that our citizen, and you will probably already know this, but this is a very caring community, and people will come out and make sure that we are civic ready when there's an event. Hopefully, we won't have any anytime soon, but it's always good to know that we have persons like yourself, but along with other partnerships, making sure that we are ready. So I want to thank you for being
Yes,
on
sir.
today. All right.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it. Thank
Yes,
you very
sir.
much.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment.